What's going on, everyone? So there has been a lot of talk about James Harden and the Los Angeles Clippers essentially being his team, right? Ty Lue even talked about it and addressed it and basically said that this is his team. He's the guy, right? He's the guy that's going to lead the charge. James Harden has now several times talked about how he's the system. Right? Originally he said with Philadelphia, I'm not a system player, I am a system. And then recently he said, I'm one of those people that the NBA had to adjust to. And look, James Harden's not entirely wrong. Right? Now, his system, or him being the system, never really led to winning. Right? Like, he never won a championship. He's going to go down, unless he wins one, is going to go down as arguably the greatest player to ever play to not win a championship. He's definitely up there as one of them, right? And look, if the Clippers are in quite the predicament, Clippers are in a very tough spot. But if James Harden can kind of get back to a version of Houston James Harden, then the Clippers might be tough. The Clippers might be very good, right? But it really boils down to, beyond James Harden, what else do you get? Right? Because James Harden and a bunch of random role guys is not winning anything. You're not winning a championship. There's still a ton of concerns with James Harden, especially once you get to the playoffs. Right? This is a guy that completely disappears and vanishes. He'll go win you a game in the playoffs, but it'll also just completely cost you a game, if not several, because he just will completely disappear. I mean, you're talking like peak Houston James Harden. I don't know about that. I mean, he had a season where he averaged like 36? I think he had two. He had one where he averaged like 34, one where he averaged 36, nearly a triple-double and stuff. But if he could be that, early Houston James Harden, where he was like 26, 27, 7-7, or 27, 7-6, something like that, right? Like, if he could be that James Harden, right? Not necessarily like peak prime, near triple-double, MVP, averaging 36, 8-8, right? Like, I'm not talking necessarily that James Harden. I'm talking more if he could just be that 26, 27 point per game, go dish out, 7-8 assists, grab 5 to 7 rebounds. I think the Clippers could be really good, right? They might be good during the regular season if James Harden and Kawhi could be healthy, just because they got a lot of really young talent, and you kind of ride their backs a little bit. But look, there's no replacing Paul George. Them just losing Paul George for nothing was a silly decision, right? They either should have traded and tried to get something for him, or they should have just re-signed him, right? Because, again, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and a bunch of role guys is not better than James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and a bunch of role guys. Plus, what Paul George did, he was more reliable than Kawhi, not by a huge margin, but he was, right? Yes, Paul George still has the disappearing act in the playoffs at times too, but it just gives you that other guy to where you only really need, like, if Kawhi can be healthy and be Kawhi, you really only need one of James Harden or Paul George to be great on any given night, right? And then you just at that point just need to be serviceable from the third guy, right? So, like, if James Harden disappears the game, as long as Paul George is still good, you only need James Harden to basically just be serviceable. Or vice versa, Paul George missed the game. But also, Paul George did a lot, like, defensively, still one of the best two-way guys in the league. Right? Like, there's a lot of benefits you get from Paul George that you're just not going to get without him. Right? Like, Terrence Mann and the guys like that, they're not replacing Paul George. Right? Your hope is that you're deep enough and through committee to where you can, kind of replicate some of the things and still be and maintain some level of competitiveness. Right? But again, it really boils down to Kawhi, in my opinion. There's too many question marks with the Clippers is my problem. Like, I don't believe that they win a championship. I don't. I think that has sailed. But could they have, like, a real shot? Like, could they have, like, a puncher's chance or anything like that? Like, sure. But it would require James. Like, James Harden was good. Like, he was 17, 5, and 9. No, I'm rounding up a little bit. But basically 17, 5, and 9. Right? Well, it's good. Especially as your third option. That's great. Right? But now he's your second option. So you need at least 10 more points from him. The 5 rebounds and 8.5 assists, that's fine. That's good. But you need another 10 points. You need him to be 26 to 30 a game. If he can do that, and then Kawhi Leonard can stay healthy and be Kawhi Leonard, then the Clippers are probably going to be pretty good. Right? Clippers will probably be a playoff team. Again, it depends on how the role players shape up and whatnot, but they should be pretty good, right? James Harden and Kawhi Leonard, healthy, is still a very good duo, right? Like, and we've seen James Harden fare well and win quite a bit of games, especially in the regular season, with even just lesser talent, right? Like, Kawhi Leonard is the second best player James Harden's ever played with, behind Kevin Durant. I mean, there's an argument to be made just because of Kawhi's experience and where he is at his stage in his career when healthy compared to Kevin Durant early in his career, that Kawhi might even be, that like this version of Kawhi, healthy, again, healthy is the key, might be the best player that he's played with. Again, I said argument, just because Kawhi, with the championship experience, with the, understanding of him being such a great two-way player. I mean, you're still when he's healthy, he's still one of, if not the best, like, just two-way guys. Guy that go get you 25 to 30 on any given night on incredible efficiency and defend the best player on the other team and absolutely clamp him up. There's very few, if any, that can do that, especially to the level of Kawhi Leonard. Right? So if James Harden can get to a version, let's say he's not 100%, but even like 80% of that James Harden, right? And then you get a healthy 68, 70 game Kawhi Leonard, and if he's healthy come playoff time, I mean, the Clippers could be a force. The Clippers could be a very tough basketball team. Clippers could be a team that, I wouldn't be shocked if they're in the conference finals or anything like that. It's just, for me with the Clippers, it's one of those things where it's just like every year, the last 15 years plus, it's the Clippers year, right? From Lob City to now, right? It's just like every single year, it's like, well, the Clippers, they're the best team. They're the powerhouse. They're the sleeper. And every year it's the same story, same result, same outcome. They don't do anything. They're a first or second round exit, and that's just who they are as a team. The Kawhi Leonard and Paul George experiment didn't work out. It was a disappointment. It was a disaster. They went to one conference finals. For a team that is little brother to the Lakers and did everything they can the last few years to kind of get out of Lakers' shadow and talk about how, like, we've beaten them, whatever it was, 17 straight times or whatever, right? Like, the Lakers' worst season, in which they started 2-10, had a 0.02% chance of just making the playoffs. Not even going anywhere, just making the playoffs. Finished as the Western Conference in the Western Conference Finals. The Clippers' best season ever in their franchise history was making the conference finals. And the Lakers, in what many consider their worst season ever, made it to the conference finals. The Clippers have been an absolute disappointment. They have been. I mean, they have an owner that wants nothing more than a win. They got a new arena. That's why I don't understand letting Paul George go, right? Because he gave you your best chance. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and James Harden healthy, And if they can figure it out and just kind of catch the right wave, could potentially win an NBA championship. Right? Like, but now you let Paul George go, and now you're banking on James Harden to get back to being, again, early version James Harden, where, he's 26, 8-8, and then Kawhi Leonard to stay healthy when this guy, he just can't. Right? It's such a tall ask, such a tall order, in my opinion, for the Clippers. I don't see it. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel with your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? You kind of in the middle? You kind of mixed? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.